What's going on? Welcome back to another Raw review from July 11th, 1994 this time, episode number 70. Let's get right into it. Raw begins with a package for the 1-2-3 Kid and shows us what he's done to get this title match, all the way back to about a year ago when he beat Razor Ramon, all the way to when he beat Nikolai Volkov a couple weeks ago on Raw. We also see footage from the Hall of Fame ceremony where Bret Hart was talking about the young talent and says that the Kid is the best wrestler pound for pound, and looks forward to following where the Kid goes in his career. So that's why he went to WCW in 1997. The Montreal Screwjob wasn't the reason he left. He went over there so he can follow the career of Six. There we go. We've cracked the code on the real backstage workings on the Screwjob. He was like, you know what? Just get me out of here. Six is over there. I want to go where he is. And he came back in 1998, a couple months later. So, Bret Hart, you made a mistake there. Before the match, Owen and the Anvil walk down and put a hold on the start of the match. Refs come down and escort them to the back. Something else to point out is that Jim Ross is back on commentary. He got fired a couple months ago because I think Vince didn't like how southern he sounded. Vince, by the way, has been off commentary because of the steroid trial, and he also had something wrong with his neck. I'll try to put up the infamous picture of Vince with the neck brace on. But getting back into the match, Bret tries to keep the match at a slow pace, but right before commercial, the Kid is able to hit some quick moves to gain the control. Something we don't really see because Bret is usually the smaller guy in his matches, but Bret more physical because he's working with a smaller guy here, including when Bret sends the Kid crashing into the turnbuckle. Bret also blocks roll-ups. The second one turns into a Samoan drop and pins the Kid, but he gets the foot on the rope, but the ref doesn't see it. Bret doesn't like the outcome and doesn't like the way he won, so another ref runs out and they announce that Bret requests the match to continue, so it does. This is something I don't remember happening, and even more surprising that they would do this twice in as many weeks. They did the same thing last week when Jarrett demanded his match restart because of a countout. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say I like this one but not that last one, because I didn't, and I still don't understand why. Just get to the end. Stop adding unnecessary drama to the match when it doesn't need it. Bret goes for the middle rope elbow drop, but the Kid gets the foot up. Kid gets a spinning kick but isn't able to pick up the pace like he usually does because of all the damage that he's taken. Crossbody off the top rope for a near fall, and then hits a power bomb and a flying leg drop, but still not enough to keep the Hitman down. He takes himself and Bret out with a moonsault from the top rope to the outside. He takes one too many risks though after he misses a swanton. Bret goes for the sharpshooter, but he's too close to the ropes. Bret goes for a superplex but gets reversed, and this is the nearest fall so far, but Bret kicks out. Bret hits a running bulldog and climbs the ropes, but the Kid catches him and tosses him off. So the Kid climbs the ropes again and goes for a dropkick but gets caught into the sharpshooter and he's made to submit. So Bret Hart obviously retains the belt. This match wasn't bad at all. Could have used maybe one last close fall for the Kid to put it up there as a classic Raw match, but still entertaining. Macho Man and JR give a standing ovation, and Bret Hart races the hand of the 1-2-3 Kid after the match. I didn't hate this one bit. This match carried the entire show. If you have not watched this, go and watch it. Even if you had to sit through that first beginning part where the match gets restarted, it's still all worth it for seeing the 1-2-3 Kid. If you're a fan of the 1-2-3 Kid, you could hate X-Pac and be a fan of the 1-2-3 Kid in his early stages in WWF. I never associate the 1-2-3 Kid and X-Pac as being the same person for some reason in my head. So, moving on, we get our first SummerSlam update, and we have 6 weeks until the pay-per-view. It's going to be on a Monday night too, which is weird. The main event is set to be The Undertaker versus The Undertaker, so it looks like they've already let the cat out of the bag, that the Taker we've been seeing isn't the real one. Next, we have a back-to-back squash matches. Crush and Razor Ramon respectively pick up singles victories over some jobbers. After that, we have a special King's Court shot at one of the offices of the $1 Million Man. He's buying 10,000 shares of some stock, probably GameStop. DiBiase says that not only has he gotten Nikolai Volkov, Bam Bam Bigelow, and the fake Undertaker, but he tells us that Lex Luger has also been bought. Luger hasn't signed the contract, but Teddy tells us that it's just a matter of dotting some T's and crossing some I's, so nothing really of importance gets said here. Luger is scheduled for a match next week, so we're going to see if this is true next week, probably, or probably not. Leading to a match, I'm guessing, between Luger versus Bigelow, or a tag match between Luger and someone versus Volkov and Bigelow at SummerSlam. I don't know what happens going further from this. Again, this is one of those feuds or storylines that I have no knowledge of from the mid-90s, so where they go from here, I have no idea. Then we have another squash match. This time IRS picks up a win with an STF submission, so good for the Taxman. Gets his suit all sweaty, but at least he gets a win. The end of the show is just Bret Hart showing some respect to the 123 Kid. They bring up Owen wanting a rematch for the belt. Bret calls Owen a fluke, not his victory at WrestleMania. He just calls him a mistake, basically. So some harsh words there, but says that since Neidhart is in his corner of Owen, another one of his brothers will be at his side. He tells Owen he knows where to find him, and when they meet again, they will truly find out who the best one is in the Hart family. So with that, let's go to the awards. For the best moment, I had the match between the 123 Kid and Bret Hart, obviously. Not much to explain on why. For the worst moment, I had the Undertaker versus Undertaker storyline. I feel like they rushed this all of a sudden. I thought the reveal would happen this week in front of a crowd, but nope, they just threw it away in the update segment. And then DiBiase doesn't really mention that on his King's Court. He talks about a completely different wrestler. Didn't make any sense, but maybe they felt the crowd was not buying it, so they just scrapped the slow play and went straight to the pay-per-view match announcement. For the wackest performer, I'm going to give it to Crush. He's not doing anything. He's not over. Why is he on the show? Stand-up performer, Bret Hart. I could pick the Kid because he was also good, but the way that he was working with Bret, he really was made to look good in a loss. Bret Hart also shows that he can work with different sized opponents. For example, he can have a good match with the 123 Kid, and on the heavier side, guys like Diesel. So the way that he was able to change up his usual style, and he still was able to have a good match, that makes him the stand-up performer on this episode. I'm going to give this episode a good grade. Basically, like I said, the match carried the show, and everything else was just there to fill time, or it was just a letdown. So if you got time, watch the match and skim around the rest of the episode, but nothing really worth sitting down for and watching in full after the title match is over. So yeah, with that being said, I'm out.